Master Modes is on the verge of destroying Star Citizen. Well, only if you believe what the top orgs in the PvP community are saying about the new flight model coming to 3.23 in the next few months. For those unfamiliar, Master Modes are intended to streamline gameplay by automating certain features, like combat maneuvers and ship management. While this may sound convenient, many hardcore fans argue that it eliminates the skill and challenge that makes Star Citizen so unique. Critics fear that Master Modes will lead to a dumbed down experience, catering to casual players at the expense of hardcore gamers. Proponents, on the other hand, argue that Master Modes will make the game more accessible to newcomers and expand the player base. So, what do you think? Will Master Modes be the downfall of Star Citizen, or will they elevate the game to new heights? I'm Player One, and welcome to Citizens Connect. To understand Master Modes, we must first understand why Master Modes was introduced as a new flight model. Yogi and his team over at CIG first introduced the concept of Master Modes as a flight model at CitizenCon in 2022. Master Modes, as explained, divide the ability of ships to fly in the world of Star Citizen into two separate modes: Standard Control Mode, or SCM, and Navigation Mode, or NAV mode. Master Modes was intended to slow down the speed of flight and flight in combat to bring the flights closer and keep players engaged in the fight. Think of Ace Combat as a reference. Master Modes does address many issues that we have had with the old flight model that I will talk about in the next section. But there is one main issue that Master Modes does not address at all in its current state, which is make the player feel as though it's not pay to win. No new player, or casual for that matter, should be able to come into Star Citizen, buy the meta aircraft at the time, and be able to compete against players who have put in hundreds of thousands of hours honing their flight skills. CIG has got to address this issue and address it soon. There has to be a healthy balance of getting what you pay for in an aircraft, whether that's from earning it in-game or buying it outright with your own money. But there should be a high enough skill ceiling that the differences will be obvious between a player in a F8C who has hundreds of hours into the game and PvP gameplay versus a casual in a F8C who plays the game but not as regularly. The casual should get smoked, and there should be a penalty for not putting in the time or focus into that playstyle. It should be punishing enough that if a casual player loses to a better player, that it makes them want to get better and focus on the gameplay in order to compete, but not so punishing that players never want to give it a chance. Master Modes truly has its flaws. For me, the biggest is that it doesn't solve or address play to win. But Master Modes is bringing with it a lot of good now and is needed for a healthy future. I know for the PvP community, the way play is right now would not be good for the health of PvP if not addressed. But I've got to acknowledge the elephant in the room, that PvP is a small yet very important part of Star Citizen. There's going to be so much more to Star Citizen in the future, and there's so much more to Star Citizen now than just PvP. Chris Roberts and Star Citizen for years have always talked about how they envision battles in the verse, especially fleet battles. And the current model doesn't help with that at all. Master Modes brings with it the feel and look of what fleet battles can and will look like in the future. Many of the top PvP orgs have themselves said that fleet battles in the old flight model were often irrelevant and would more times than not lead to stalemates. This is not healthy, nor is it fun for the type of gameplay. There will always be a larger group of players who will play this game casually and will often, if not always, try to stay out of PvP encounters. With Master Modes comes the prospect of ensuring that all players with different playstyles can enjoy their time in the game. Master Modes brings with it some monumental and drastic changes to the game, and thinking about the game overall and taking every profession into account, we have to be willing to give Master Modes our support and constantly hitting them with feedback so that we can get as best of an experience for everyone in the game. Let's also keep in mind that this isn't even close to the final iteration of Master Modes. We still must remember we're getting Maelstrom and armor for the ships along with atmospheric flight that will all cause for multiple rebalancing with each ship. If we want Master Modes to be better, that means we have to make ourselves part of the solution and not the problem, and continue to get feedback to get an overall better experience for everyone.